In this lecture, we will be talking about how programming works and how basically the vibe coding is going to help, but in a very simple way, especially for those of you who may not have been doing programming or coding in the past and didn't start it like maybe so many current programmers who started with flowcharts and just writing the codes and memorizing some of the syntax and so on, or trying to come up with algorithm. Anyway, so you get some ideas here, and then you'll see how AI can help us briefly. Imagine you have a question and you want to compare. Say you want to go from CTA to X to Y, and you got a budget, say $2,000. One option would be you take plane, right? Say you have to pay for flight, taxi, and total would be around $2,000. And the other one is using your own car, just enjoying the process as well, the trip. So you just probably need to pay for the fuel and hotel. And hotel probably need to give a pay in option one as well, right? So the question is choosing the best. So usually what people do in their mind is trying to sketch something, right? Say, okay, you want to start a plane. The question, do you want to fly or want to drive? And there will be two questions, and the total would be in each based on the cost, different type of cost. I'm talking about the right-hand side, the flow chart that you can see, and then is it within your budget, and you choose it, right? This is the way people usually, or you can write on a say Google Sheet or Excel, or even just like as a on a pen, using pen and paper. So what you do in this scenario, you're actually coding. You're thinking like a person who does the coding. So and this is the way the algorithm works. So you define a problem, you find the cheapest travel plan, build logic around it. Here you see here we come up with rules and comparison and inputs, right? Say inputs would be flight, taxi, fuel, hotel. You put them together and you compare. Say, is this bigger than the other one? Because at the end of the day, there's a number, right? And then let the computer do the work, say calculate, automate. And these processes used to be like quite a lot with just yourself or you and your team members sitting down and planning. Now you can do it, quite many of these parts with AI, which has that knowledge as well that you can help you. Remember, we talked about it. AI is a kind of interpreter, right? Let's just give you an example. We said you can easily put it on a paper or like say Google Sheet, for instance. You put them together, they're your question and the type of cost that you have, fly, taxi, others, and total will come up with say $2,000 or nearly. Then you have another option, or you can have so many other options. Then you compare them like that. You probably need to go if you like to add other kind of costs, different types of layers and rows. But let's see how we do it. I'm not going to the detail of how the coding has been done here, but I'll show you how, for instance, we use wipe coding and quickly turn this idea in quite a simple and nice way that you can easily add things to it or compare with different types of scenarios. So here we have a trip cost comparison in Google Colab, which is a Python based here. I'm going to compare. You've got budget and different options, and there's a function that does the calculate the what you may call it like the total, right? So it's similar to what you did in the other like Google Sheet type of things. And there's another function that you wanted to compare these different options, right? So don't worry about it. So what's happening here? There's like basically as simple as like the budget would be budget minus a plane total, or yeah, or car total, right? The budget that you spend, and this budget refers to basically the budget here that you defined already, all right? And then you display as comparison here. So how you display it, we'll see it. And then for visualization, we use some sort of library, they call it Matplot. There are quite many other libraries that you can use the data you have here and visualize it. So let's run it for now. We'll go through these in coming weeks and coming lectures about learning all these details. But for now, imagine you know these things and imagine this is like a black box and you want to just run it. Just run this. You got see what happens. So you want to compare the results. Car, you got this information. It's like a dictionary, they call it, but don't worry about it if you don't know about it. And a plane, the remaining budget, and the total cost. And you can easily, you just notice here that you can actually view it in a full version as well, like full screen. Here you can see easily and nicely comparison, right? The plain version and car version, and the total cost, which is huge here, and the total cost, the blue one for the car. And car is cheaper because you can see the differences, right? And the remaining would be the green one. Cool. Well, I wanted to go even further. And then I asked for more. I tried to do more and more coding here, or I would say vibe coding to some extent. And what I did, I wanted to be able to change things. So again, don't worry about these codes, how they are happening. I used something called fidgets, and let's just run and see what's happening at the end in the results section. So you see, this is combining all the results and showing us this way. So that's what I like about coding. So you can not easily, you can do it to some extent in Excel or in Google Sheet type of things, but you need to create quite a lot of things. So Python is much faster and easier. So you see, we gave a budget, and now budget can change. That's cool, right? You can actually change it here, and your results change quickly, accordingly. So we had like $2,000, but imagine you just come up with like someone want to join you guys, and you have like more budget now suddenly, and the plane option, car option, and because it is program, so you can actually add things more to it. So it's a flight and taxi. Now you can decide if I just go higher, like say business class, or taxi, I go with like Uber X, Uber what, different types of taxis, or fuel if I go with back and just using my own car or distance I'm traveling, and the hotel night, you can actually change it and hotel per night, for instance, right? Then you can actually compare different scenarios, and now you have scenarios. So did you see that? So we come up with an idea, and then we use programming to help us build some sort of budget, sort of option cost, trip budget and option cost, which is amazing, right? And the plain one would be around $3,000 for this scenario for the car, and you can visually quickly see that the total cost is still for the car is versus a plane. And of course, this is faster than the plane one, right? You might be 10 times more in the car than the plane, yeah. But it all depends on what you want to do, right? And then the final verdict, what you asked. So that's really cool. So what you learned here, what I would like to emphasize here is you're learning what you're doing, even every day, you're doing programming. If you use logic, if you say, if this, then that, if we do this scenario, or we are making a decision, you can actually come up with this type of flow charts. And this, whatever you can put in flow charts, to some extent, you can program it. And nowadays, with the help of AI, you can do it much faster. So really practice and try to learn more about these ideas or whatever idea you have, and try to come up with the kind of sketch that I did here. And see you in the next lecture.